beings, which are still duality with good and bad in both. And they may have very good intentions, just like major religions and major governments, but their intentions are to take our free will and to have power and control over us. It's not, in other words, they somehow feel superior to us because they are in another density, and their level of consciousness has evolved to the point where they see the only thing they can do for us is to control us, enslave us. And once you get past the fourth and fifth density, incidentally, they need vehicles to do that and weapons. But once you get past the fourth and fifth density, in the sixth density, there are beings that don't need vehicles, and they're more with compassion and love. And they know to stay out of the way and just want to be of service to others. And that's a big difference. Service to self or service to others. And so I don't think, you can have the love and open up the heart chakra and want to do good, but if you interfere, sometimes you cross the line and you're inviting negativity. And that's what these beings are, and possibly they haven't evolved to understand, give them the benefit of the doubt. But meantime, there are two forces out there that are having wars in, and supposedly we are somewhat protected by these seventh density beings, which are more in their Merkaba body, their spiritual body, their light body. And according to David Wilcox and some other beings that channel in these higher beings, that they put a quarantine around us, a protection around us. They're called the guardians, and they're here to try to keep the balance and the harmony so that we can evolve to the point where we can express our own free will. So, we are all one being, yet we have all these components within ourselves, within this being, that are shadows and darker sides. Don't want to actually necessarily call it evil, because that sort of divides us, but to see for what it is and to understand, like Justin, we always say, knowledge is power. Because without this knowledge, we're just, the blind leading the blind, and we can so easily give away our power, which is my big thing. How these ETs come into your life that aren't for your highest good is you invite them in, and sometimes they subtly start to take control, and you've given them the power, and now you've surrendered your free will. Again, you've become enslaved to this lower form of consciousness, might be more advanced technologically, even spiritually in some aspects than we are, yet they just don't have the wisdom yet for the wholeness of humanity, for us having our free will and growing into, one being of love and light. So this is what I'm hoping to see tonight. I'm going to be so excited. I think I'm going to have to take a nap so I can stay up all night with you, Justin.
Right. He did mention there's certain times that are ideal times for catching the UFOs due to the way the Earth is rotating. He told me the 2 hours in the morning before the sunlight comes out, like from say 3 to 5, say it starts getting light at 5 a.m., 3 to 5 in the morning, then if that's how your sun rises in your area, that would be ideal time. And then also the first 2 hours of darkness, so say it gets dark at 8 o'clock where you live, 8 o'clock p.m., then from 8 to 10 would be the ideal time. From his 14 years he's been doing this, researching, and actually his whole life, but with the night vision goggles for quite some time now. So I definitely take his advice, and I'm looking forward to tonight looking out in the skies and see what we could find.
What we could find, because this is going to be interesting, and we're going to bring everything that we find right back to our viewers to keep you informed, and possibly we may have invite some local viewers that might want to come and share the experience once Justin learns how to use the goggles and teaches me. I guess, I don't know, I'm not that mechanically inclined, but we'll start videotaping them. We'll start understanding, I guess, what's out there, to distinguish what is,
Right.
you know. And Ed was so nice; he offered to even help you with further instruction with these
Yeah, he
glasses.
said give him a call as soon as they arrive, so I will contact him, and he said he'd teach me how to use them fairly in like 15-20 minutes. It's pretty easy, just being able to identify planes, which I've already done the research because I go to YouTube, and a lot of people that have these night vision goggles are sharing their UFO experiences, and it's very easy to identify a plane because they flash. They have blinking lights that are flashing. You can see their wings. They go approximately like 400, even 500 miles an hour. Now the UFOs, these things, you know, they move intelligently. Like a satellite is just going to be floating very slow, like, you know, very, very slow. A UFO could be going 1,000 miles an hour, stop on a dime, and then go the opposite direction. So, you know, he teaches you the difference between noticing satellites, planes, birds, and you could see owls and bats. You could see anything. I'm just excited to be able to look up at the star and see what my eye spectrum cannot pick up. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. And then if you're open to channeling and trying to communicate, you'll get a sense of who's the being that you actually want to be in contact with, and who's the ones that you don't. I have a feeling a lot of this, why NASA doesn't do all this information, give us all this information. They do probably the research because it's governments, and you know, this is interesting information. It's about protection. It's just that they're involved somehow in these wars, and this is why you know, they did. How are we going to accept this? You know, it might feel like you know, too Star Wars, New Age. Spielberg, I guess, knew what he was doing with the Star Wars. I was catching Star Wars.
Well, he was actually that E.T. movie. Star Wars is George Lucas.
George Lucas.
The other one.
Yeah, George Lucas, which interesting. So I guess they had the vision of what was really going on, or did they have those goggles that they knew, because they were all in Hollywood over there with Jose Escamilla and everyone else. So just one quick note, Project Camelot had their conference last weekend, and so check out projectcamelot.org, and there might be some new, I heard they had a whole cast of people. We weren't able to make it at this point because, Justin, you're going to be...
Yep, going on a 16-day vacation in Central and South America, leaving in a couple days. So for the next 2 weeks, the next 2 Mondays, we won't be doing the live show. But when I, do get back, of course, we're going to be broadcasting live again, and I'm going to start recording the night vision footage now that we'll have the goggles coming in here anytime. So, definitely check out the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, because everything I capture, I'm going to try to upload it and share it with the masses.
Too bad you can't take it on your trip, right?
Yeah, now that's an interesting question, because legally you're not allowed to leave the United States with this technology. It's military grade. Our actual military, get the goggles from the same place that, I ordered them from. So they're very high technology. They don't want it to leave the country. It's against the law to do so. So I thought it'd be in my best interest, to abide by the law. As nice as it would be to be out on a cruise ship, traveling to all these countries and be able to look up at the skies, it would be priceless. But I don't want to risk, a big investment or getting in trouble with the law over something like that, when I could just look at outside my backyard.
Right, and I heard that the government can get pretty nasty with you. All the governments, because they think now you're into espionage or undercover agent kind of work.
Yeah, who knows?
Those night goggle visions. They're sort of going to use everything they can to get them